This is Dummett Grove. It was owned by the father of Indian River citrus, Douglas Dummett, and he had an orange plantation here on this property. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of Douglas Dummett, very fascinating man, and take a look at his property, see if there's any remains of his orange grove. So come join us.
Douglas Dummett was born in Barbados in 1806. He was the son of Colonel Thomas Dummett. They moved to Connecticut after a slave revolt on their Barbados sugar plantation. Then they moved to East Florida, where they operated a sugar mill plantation from 1825 to the outbreak of the Second Seminole War in December 1835. At the outset of the Second Seminole War in January 1836, Douglas Dummett served as a captain in the Mosquito Roarers militia company, and he fought in the Battle of Dunlawton Plantation in January 1836, where he was wounded, shot in the neck. Douglas married socialite Frances Hunter in St. Augustine in 1837, and in March 1843 they moved to Merritt Island, where Douglas planted a citrus grove and built a house atop an Indian shell midden. Frances petitioned for divorce for reasons of incompatibility in 1844. Douglas immediately began a common-law relationship with a young black girl named Leandra Fernandez and sired a large family with her. Their son Charles died in a hunting accident at the age of 15 in New Smyrna Beach in 1860, where his grave is located in the middle of the road. His daughter Kate married a freed slave named Andrew Lloyd Jackson, and they lived in nearby Clifton. Douglas Dummett took a scientific approach to his citrus plantation. He grafted sour oranges from his Tomoka property with sweet oranges found on Merritt Island and began producing a new breed of oranges that became nationally famous as Indian River citrus. Douglas Dummett was one of the most prominent men in Volusia County. He was elected to the Florida State Legislature in 1845. During the Civil War, Douglas Dummett was the highest-ranking Confederate official in Volusia County and served as the collector of customs for New Smyrna and also as a justice of the peace. Douglas Dummett passed away in 1873. I've been searching for any traces of orange trees or any foundations, including the brick chimney of his house, but I haven't been able to locate anything. I believe that his orange trees were destroyed in the Great Freeze of 1895 and never replanted. There are two areas of the Dummett Grove that show exposed sections of the Indian midden that Dummett built his house atop of. The midden is composed of seashells discarded by the Timucuan Indians. The Dummett estate was purchased by Icole Tamajo, the Duke of Castelluccio, and his new American wife, Jenny Anheuser of Brooklyn, New York, reputed to be an heiress of the Budweiser fortune. They built Dummett Castle from timber salvaged from the wreck of the sailing ship Santa Cruz in 1881. They lived there for 5 years and sold the property in 1886 and moved to New York. The house later became a hunting lodge. When NASA acquired the property in 1962, Dummett Castle was transported to Titusville in 1964, but unfortunately was destroyed by arson from teenagers in 1967. This monument is dedicated to the Sendler Education Outpost. Mr. and Mrs. Carl Sendler, who were instrumental in the Kennedy space program. Douglas Dummett had a dock constructed on the Indian River side of his plantation, and here he shipped his citrus up north, where it was very popular. Sold for $1 a box and made Indian River citrus famous throughout the world. As we look out on the Indian River, if you enjoyed this trip to the Dummett Grove with us, please click like, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you on our next adventure.